You're listening to the Life in General podcast with Tom and Jay. An hour of informative commentary on today's headlines, current events, and what's going on around the world and around the corner. And now, here are your hosts, Tom and Jay Darden.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Life in General podcast here with Tom and Jay, coming at you with, I believe, episode number 70, right after our episode 69, nice, with guest star there, returning man of the hour. Now we are back on your regularly scheduled programming. So we're going to start this episode off the same way we do every time and ask the man of the hour how he is down there in sunny Ecuador. Should be sunny now that we're going to wintertime up here in this side of the world. So, hey, Dad, how are you?
I'm doing very well. The sun comes out part of the day. We're not 100% where it's coming up at 7 or 6:45 and staying up all day long, but it rolls out about 10 and it'll stay out till about 3 or 3:30, which is, you know, I went outside today to sweep off the driveway and I was out there about 45 minutes and it's like, no, that sun beating down on you, man. I was wringing wet. So it's like, the driveway doesn't need to be swept off that bad. There's nothing on it. So
well, just tie some broom heads to the dogs' asses or something like that and just get them to run around
their tails so they could go. Yeah, that's right.
Right, exactly.
Right. I could have just used the shop vac that we have and turned it on blow instead of suck, you know, and then, I won't touch that one.
I was going to say, if only people had those switches, you know, go from suck to blow. But
blow hard.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Exactly. So you had a few things you wanted to go over this time, and now we have on our lovely thing, term limits, November 8th. Fire them all is the slogan. Yeah, there you go.
That's right.
Yeah, I should put in something after the fact that just is that, but it's a digital version, or maybe I'll just replace your head with that sign for the rest of the
That's fine.
hour. Who knows?
That's okay. Everybody talks about, you know, wanting to get rid of him and wanting to do things. Well, November the 8th, term limits. That's when their limit is up. Their term is up. So fire them.
I think the big thing here is people want to agree on that. Like, everyone wants to agree on term limits, and that's fine because that's kind of a bipartisan thing. But that means you have to agree on who replaces them. That's difficult. So that doesn't necessarily go the same way, right? Where some people might say, hey, we're going to go 50%, get this person out, 50%, get this person out. But both of those sides are not going for the same party or person who's going to replace them. And then so that's split. And then you have a decent majority who are wanting the person to stay around. And so it just becomes a cluster. Like, that's why I think it's more prudent to get actual term limits rather than say, everybody just focus up on the same thing and
they have
vote
to, you're saying
out.
They have to leave by a certain time.
Correct.
Like about 4 years and then they're out. Doesn't matter what.
Much like the president, right? You can only serve for 2 terms and then your ass is grass.
Right.
It should be the same deal with any sort of political figurehead or political just party in general or position, I'll say, where they say, cool, you did your 6 or you did your 8 or your 10 even, which is a pretty good run. I mean, you can make a lot of money and do a lot of things in 10 years. I mean, a decade's nothing to scoff at, right? However, you have certain politicians, as we talked about until we're blue in the face, they've been there for 20, 30 years, and that's just not...
50 years.
Right. That's just bad policy, as Bob Boucher would say. So...
Yeah, that's a load of crap, but it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat or independent. You need to go vote whatever you want to vote, but you got to change the people that are there, man. It doesn't matter. None of them are any good, but none of them. And now you're seeing on the news feeds, you're seeing these senators and these representatives pop up that you hadn't heard from in years. You hadn't heard from them in years, and all of a sudden they pop up and they want to say something. so their face is on the camera,
right?
And from different states that you didn't even know that person existed, and now everybody wants to be a freaking clown, man. It's a damn joke. The government's a joke. So I think they ought to just switch them on, but they won't. But and I can't wait till tomorrow, because today there was a meeting with OPEC. Okay, to see if they were going to cut production in the Middle East by 1 to 2 million barrels a day.
Okay.
Cut production.
Sure.
Now remember, Joe has sold all of your reserve, your emergency reserve. You don't have any reserve. He sold it all or gave it away. So you don't have any reserve when the shit hits the fan. You're done. And right now it's 86.60 a barrel. So if they stop producing, they said it'd go up at least $10 a barrel, which is that's $96, almost $100 a barrel.
Hey-o.
Yeah, the national average right now is about $3.80 a gallon nationwide. Till you go to California, where it's $6.65 a gallon for regular,
right? And
for high test, it's like $7 a gallon, and diesel is $5.60 or something ridiculous.
Sure.
So you cannot sustain an existence with those kind of prices, this kind of inflation, and things that are going on now. You just sent $15 billion to Ukraine to help them again. What about the people in Florida and South Carolina? What about those people? Why you send the money to Ukraine when you got people dying here in Florida and South Carolina? Just asking.
Well,
yeah,
that's a good question. I think one of the things that America does specifically is to try and bolster its allies, and especially ones against tyranny or terror or things of that ilk. And trust me, I very much would like to have a greater say in where we spend our money. And of course we would say, well, go and vote in the right person, do that. Well, that's not how that works, right? You'd have to literally get rid of everybody and then have a much different, structure in order to get that done. Because the bills that they come out with, or the spending that they come out with, is something that is the epitome of a circus, right? I mean, have a 300-page bill and then sneak a bunch of shit in it late, at the end of this and end of that, and then it just kind of becomes a freak show, as it were, which it already has been for many years. But and you're right, you're spot on, because Marco Rubio, who's a senator in Florida, he said, I'm not going to vote for Hurricane Ian relief if there's pork in the bill. Why can't you just pass a bill that's for relief and that's all? Why do you have to put other stuff in it? Why can't you just use 2 pages and write a bill that gives people federal relief or federal aid? Because
that's what FEMA's for.
Well,
you don't have to add anything else to it.
Well, it's a good way to stop a bill, right? Because what they can say is, as an example, like, let's say the Republicans want this bill or the Democrats want this bill or whatever. Then the other side put something in the bill that the person originally asking for it doesn't want. Then the opposing side says, well, look, they don't even want the help that they've asked for. But of course, it's because it's convoluted and it's been muddled to a degree. And so it's a perfect political strategy to say, well, yeah, we're just going to, they asked for help. We tried to give it to them. They didn't take it. And then it's just that back and forth forever. And it becomes shenanigans.
That's why they all need to go. That's why they all need to go, man. It's so corrupt, and it's such a load of crap, man. It's such a load of crap. The restaurant workers in California right now, the minimum wage is $15.50.
Yeah. And
it's going to go to $22 an hour in 2023.
Whoa.
What do you think the price of your hamburger or your pizza is going to be by then?
Where's this specifically again?
California.
Well, yeah, but look at it from this perspective. Like, everywhere has a different average of what the wage is, like what minimum is, what top out is, because what you have, like, where are the most millionaires per capita? Right, you would assume it's in California because of all the tycoons, all of the Silicon Valley folks, X amount of billionaires,
all the movie stars,
etc. So, yeah, of course, when somebody has like when your median average of income from California might be $100,000 versus 60 like it is over here in Tennessee, then yeah, it's going to be a different set of wages, because it also costs more to live there, right? Like, just naturally. Now, the big thing here is, yeah, if their wage goes up to that, the person earning the who owns the restaurant or whatever, like whatever entity that is, yeah, of course they're going to jack the price of all the food and all of this up. Because the higher-ups aren't making any less money. It's always, okay, raise prices. Okay, raise wages. Okay, raise prices. Okay, raise wages. It's never reduce what the top is making. And that is where one of your largest issues lie, right? Because the people who are getting the margins, or the people who care the most about being in the black all the time, they're going to remain in the black all the time, like, unless they just go under. And even then, there are programs to make sure that you don't. I mean, you had some folks who, when they got the pandemic relief bills and checks and whatnot, they used that shit to move away and sell their business and move on. Like, they got relief from the pandemic and whatnot and said, see ya. And then they just utilized it to make off like bandits, man. So it's all shenanigans, all the way up and all the way down. So,
yeah, it's pretty interesting. Fauci and his wife have increased their net worth by $5 million in 2 years while the pandemic was going on.
Sure, of course they would.
Yeah, they're looking into that and see how he played that, how he pulled that off. I mean,
probably very easily.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. Kick back on masks, or kick back on vaccines, or kick back on this or that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What I wanted to do something tonight was different. Was I wanted to do a comparison between some of these things have just smacked me in the face in the last week or so.
Yeah.
I want to do a comparison between Ecuador and the United States.
Right.
And there's a lot of similarities here. There's a whole lot of similarities. It's not that different, except that everything here is relatively cheaper. And by that, I mean, you'll see a picture of one pair of shoes, mm-hmm. and they're Nike Zooms that I bought for $15. Okay. Then you're going to see a picture that's got a whole display of shoes, and the price is $10 a pair. It's marked on the display, $10 a pair. Now, these are the same. They might be seconds, they might be knockoffs, but they're tennis shoes. You're going to put them on your feet and stomp around on the ground.
Yeah.
And you can still look cool in them. I mean, they got Nikes and Adidas and Tommy Hilfiger and all that stuff, man. They got all the knockoff name brand. Michael Kors, they got everything down here that you'd want. And it's still made by the same people in China.
Mm-hmm.
It's still made by the same slave labor in China that Nike pays to make all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then they send it, and the same pair of tennis shoes that you're going to pay $75 or $100 for, we're paying $10 down here. I mean, it's pretty astonishing to see what goes on in the comparison of the different things down here. Also, and this was brought to my attention because I don't really pay attention, but I went to give some blood to have some test run. And so all the people in the medical industry will love this because there's so much waste and corruption and crap in the medical industry. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
So I go in to give blood and I sit down, and the little lady puts the strap on me, and my veins stick out. My veins stick out of my body, so they're not hard to find. So she takes a cotton ball and a thing of alcohol spray, and she sprays the cotton ball, and she rubs my arm with it. Okay. And then she puts the needle in, draws the blood out, puts a cotton ball on top of the hole, and I hold it with my finger while she's doing her thing with the test tube and all that.
Yeah.
And then she takes the cotton ball off and she puts a little bitty Band-Aid. You'll see a picture. She puts a Band-Aid on there about the size of a dime.
Yeah.
In the United States, when I go to give blood, they tear open a prepackaged alcohol wipe, throw the package away that costs money. They wipe your arm. They throw the alcohol pack that swab away or towelette, whatever. Okay. They get your blood, put the little cotton ball on there to stop the bleeding. And then they wrap that cotton ball with about 3 feet of fluorescent pink wrap around your arm. It's such a waste. It's such a waste. And I had an operation down here and I paid the people cash. And they did a surgical biopsy on me at the hospital here, and it was under $6,000. And I looked and compared that to the United States, and that would have been almost $100,000 for that operation with anesthesia and all the people around the table. Yeah. And you got to analyze the biopsy mass they pulled out and all that bullshit. And it's incredible. It's just incredible. Pat and I went to a place on Mondays. They call it the Monday Market. Yeah. And it's like a huge flea market. People bring all of their stuff that they have used and new for sale. The picture that you'll see of the earbuds, they're wired earbuds. So for when I'm riding my scooter, I can listen to my MP3 because I'm old and I still have wires and shit hanging down. And so I paid $2 for these brand new in the box, in the package and in the box, wired earbuds. Right. And I looked on Amazon and they're anywhere from $10 to $20 for the same thing. And I was like, really? I mean, the markup and the people and people don't either. Do they not know any better or they just accept it?
Accept what?
The prices and what people say. Everything down here is a barter, except for your restaurant meal. Yeah. Anything else you buy down here is a barter. It doesn't matter if you go into the store and into the little market and buy a 6-pack of beer. You can barter with the person on the price of the beer. They might say it's $6 and I'll give you 5 for it. And they're well, you're going to go thirsty. Well, okay. You're 6. I'm out of here. You can't blame a brother for trying.
Well, I think it's on the nature of, I think it's highly based on the culture, right? But then also you have to look at things as, okay, you aren't bartering things because we are a culture based on convenience. Okay.
Yes.
And a lot
hugely.
Right. And a lot, at least in the South, right, we're non-confrontational to a degree. And so if you have a person who just wants to get their hamburger and get their fries or whatever and then go and be left alone, you're not going to care about that. Like, you might silently to yourself be like, man, this is expensive, and then go get your fucking endorphins because you got that, that sweet, delicious McDonald's fries. Like,
but if the fries aren't ready, you get pissed off.
Yeah,
not you personally, right, but people get pissed off if they can't have it right then, man. They got to have it right now, yesterday.
That's why we care about convenience and not as much about the prices. Because if it is right there, even if it's a little bit subpar, we still get that instant gratification, right? It's just bam, done, bam, done, bam, done. Where
it's incredible to see this difference.
Well, I mean, it is, but also there aren't a lot of houses around here that don't have roofs on them, or they didn't complete the second freaking story, so I don't have to pay tax on it. Also,
That's
there
right.
aren't many dirt roads out here. You know, there's
Maybe there should be.
maybe. I mean,
know?
you probably find them somewhere, but it's definitely something where I wouldn't think it's nearly as prevalent as it is down there versus
Well,
up
it's
here.
like gas.
So,
It's like gas. Gas is $2.40 a gallon here,
right.
and it's been that way since, like, I think November of last year or December of last year. They raised it at the end of the year,
Yeah.
like a 10 cents a gallon or something ridiculous like that. Now, the premium gas, that's regular. Premium gas is like $4.65 a gallon, because down here they figure if you're driving something that requires premium, you got the money to pay the premium price.
Sure.
So,
I mean, it makes sense. Well, yeah, and it's definitely, I mean, that kind of goes with it, right? Where they understand if you pay a premium for one thing, then you're going to be able to pay for it for many others.
Right.
I would say it's also
diesel's extremely cheap too. Diesel is extremely cheap also.
Well, that's convenient. But and I would also say this too, that you have something where in good old America, you talk about the price of clothing, right? Well, one of the things that they do up here that we do here is our fashion makes us accepted and quote unquote cut above others. If you buy like the Supreme shirts, or you buy Gucci or Armani or whatever, and it's less about the function and it's more about the flash and the brand and that sort of a thing, because they don't, like, I'm assuming down there's less of the need to have that sort of a thing, where you don't have as many folks who just really want to buy the Nike brand because they're going to feel like they're better than their station.
They buy it because it's cheap.
Well,
I mean, seriously, they buy it cheap. Tommy, I'm going to buy if that's the case, then I'm going to buy a Tommy Hilfiger shirt and some Adidas, flip flops or something like that. And when I come back to the United States, they'll think I'm the cat's meow, man. When I come rolling in with all my name brand stuff,
they're not when it says Adidas and then Tommy Hilfiger, it's not. They're not going to think you're, Tommy Hilfiger. They're not going to think that it's a cut above when they know it's when they know it's a knockoff and it's not got the right label and it doesn't have this, that, and the other. So
because Pat bought a windbreaker that you can see it says, it's supposed to say Adidas on it. I don't know what it said. I sent you a picture of the logo on there, and the windbreaker was $15. And she bought it because sometimes in the mornings it's chilly when we start riding with that ocean breeze, and it's like, $15.
Yeah, so, and that's fine. Like sometimes you got to look at.
It doesn't have to have anything on it. She just liked that jacket because it was a lightweight windbreaker. It didn't have to have any kind of logo.
Well, but yes, that's one of the things is you all are being a lot more utilitarian about it than somebody who needs to have a brand. But that's a personality thing. That's not something that I would say is as culturally based. I would say that's more personality to the individual, where you get that, like where that cutoff comes from and stuff. So,
well, that's why I never would wear Harley Davidson T-shirts or Harley Davidson underwear, because I wasn't advertising for the company.
Well, and not only were you not advertising for me, you didn't want to pay $50 for a freaking T-shirt,
Yeah, that and you just paid $20,000 for
the motorcycle,
used motorcycle. Yeah, so,
which is a joke. That's insane.
Yeah. It takes people a little while, and I don't know that some people won't ever get out of the Harley Davidson mode. They think that they've got to, that there was one parked at the Last Supper table or something. I don't get it, man. That they just continue to live that fantasy that they have to have the Harley, when you can get twice the motorcycle for half the price, but it's all good. Each to their own, baby. Each to their own.
People want the brand, man.
Status.
They want
baby.
Status. Yeah. They want to be a cut above their station. So
that's right. Term limits.
Yes, indeed. That's the thing. You got that nice big red marker out there.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Very nice. But yeah,
Yes.
and there's several things that folks. I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, you can get cheaper things down there, and like cheaper cost of living, and cheaper this, cheaper that. It really just depends on what you're looking for, right? I mean, if folks want that experience and they can be down there and they can do it, amazing. But
What's interesting is luxury items are expensive. The things they consider luxury items are really expensive, like a coffee maker, for instance. A coffee maker in the commissary is like anywhere from $75 to $100, man.
Right, because it's not a necessity.
Right. That's exactly right. And autos, cars, little pickup trucks. I was looking at a 96 Volkswagen pickup, 4-cylinder 5-speed with like 3 million miles on it. And they wanted $3,500 for it.
Jesus.
And I was like, damn, Daniel.
Yeah, we paid $2,800 for a 1995 Mercury Cougar, but hell, that was 20 years ago. You know?
Right.
Jeez.
Right. I paid $900 for a 90 model Chevy Silverado short bed, right before I left. That's one of the vehicles I sold, my maroon colored Chevy pickup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but the prices down here, they're not, it's not a necessity.
Well,
but
that's
there's
fair.
a huge explosion of e-bikes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The small little 500 watt e-bikes. There's a huge explosion, and you'll see anywhere from 1 to 4 people on the little e-bike all smushed together on the e-bike, because now they're selling them for $350, $400 a piece, and people are figuring out, well, hey man, I can get one of these, plug it in the wall at home, charge it up, and run the family around town. No license, no operator license, no helmet, no license plate. Oh yeah, huge explosion of those. So
I wonder how long it takes for that sort of a purchase to become worth it for them, right? Like, when are they doing the math that their return on investment is enough to warrant not taking the bus every day? Or because if they make the purchase, right, and there's probably not insurance, and that's fine. They make the purchase, and then they have to continue to pay for electricity, right? I mean, that's not free. So how long does it take them statistically and realistically to make all their money back with that? So it'd be kind of neat to know.
Yeah, I don't know. Of course, it depends on the family situation, but it didn't take us long. You can ride the bus for 50 cents, but then you're going to ride the bus for 50 cents back. And sometimes it's convenient and sometimes it's not, So I sat down a cab ride anywhere from $5 to $7 in and $5 to $7 back. So let's just say on the low end, it's $10 a trip.
Sure.
Well, if you make 2 trips to town in a week, that's $80 a month that you're paying. So, and the ones that I bought, one of them was $1,000 and the other one was $1,150.
Yeah.
But it's because they're both 1,500 watts. And they roll, there's 3 speeds and they go faster and they're bigger and all that shit. So, but you got to have electricity anyway. And these things, our electricity bill, we charge them all the time. And the electricity bill hadn't gone up or down. It's not fluctuating because it doesn't draw that much power on a 110 plug.
That makes sense.
But I started going $80 a month, 10 months, $800.
Yeah.
I mean, golly, man.
So in a year, roughly, you make it back, roughly?
Yeah, on one bike.
Right.
So, and we've had them a year and a half right now.
Wow.
So one of them's already done, and the other one's well on its way to be done.
I was going to say, you've been mobile for a minute then.
Yeah, we got them. It didn't take long for that part for us to realize that, hey, man, and then you got to have change. You got to have that $5 or $10 to give the cab driver because they might not have change. And then it just got to be such a headache. And now I can walk out there, put my helmet on, and put my sunglasses on, turn the key, twist the handle, and off I go.
Yeah, but now you're looking into getting a different vehicle. So
Yes. Well, I'll still have the Scoot. I'm looking to get a smaller pickup, and I've started looking at them. And I'll wait till I've got cash in hand, and I'll go to the marketplace, and I'll find one that somebody wants to sell, and I'll go look at it. Take me a translator and go look at it. And if it's decent, I'll buy it. If it's not decent, then I won't buy it. I'm not going to buy a piece of crap, man, and have to deal with repairs and all that. But still, we go to the grocery store once every 2 weeks and buy all the stuff you need for the house, the bread, the milk, the cereal, and all that kind of stuff. So I ride her in on my scooter, and then she shops. I come back, she shops and takes a cab home. And then, because there's so much stuff that we can't carry it on the scoots, even if we take two.
Yeah.
So she puts it in the trunk of the cab or in the back of a pickup truck, whoever's giving her a ride. And see, that's costing $6 to $8 for her to come from the commissary to here. And then we take it all out. So I just would like to have a little small truck that if I want to go somewhere, I can just go out there and jump in that thing and go on, man.
That you can have some, like, people just ask all the time, oh, you have a truck? Perfect. Give.
No.
I don't care what you say.
I got done. Let me tell you how I got done. I got done the last time I came to visit you, and the lady sent me the message that she had ordered something to be delivered to your house.
Yeah, isn't that great?
For me to bring back, and didn't even ask me.
Yeah, amazing.
Barbecue grill plates in a 24 by 18 box.
Yeah. You still got my freaking extra piece of luggage. No, I remember very, very vividly.
It's not like you're going anywhere, Daniel. I mean,
Well, I can't because I ain't got no luggage.
That's right. That's right. Too tired.
Too tired. No luggage. No extra suitcase. Can't bring all my bullshit back. So
that's right. You don't exactly bringing nothing back anyway. So
hey, get another bring it back.
That's right. So that did me in on
helping folks with this, that, and the other. Yeah.
Yes, I said the next time I come to visit you or come to visit the family.
Yeah.
No. Don't even ask, because it's going to be a big fat no.
A big fat.
I'm not going to do it. Yeah. No. So that kind of sealed that deal. So with the truck, no, because people will take advantage and not think anything about it.
Correct.
I mean, they won't think anything about it. Well, no. I don't have to. And down here, I don't have to. I don't have to be nice to anybody.
Yeah, but you will, because
sure.
Because peer pressure is gonna get to you, or maybe not you. Maybe it gets to somebody else.
Yeah, okay. That's not in charge. Okay.
If you think you're in charge, then you got another thing coming. Cue up that fucking song.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man.
I try to be in charge.
I try to say goodbye, and all that shit, man.
I talked to your Uncle Bob yesterday in Georgia, and he was safe from the hurricane. It didn't come his way. So
yeah, hell, I was down in Atlanta, and it was bright skies, man, and nothing to it.
Yeah, he's about an hour northeast of Atlanta, and he said, nope, didn't even get a free car wash. So
right, that's exactly right.
I said, okay, very cool.
Hey, we'll it's kind of like the no news is good news sort of a deal, because either you get monsoons or it passes you, or it doesn't even get up to you, and it's all good. So that was a fun show. Went and saw Ninja Sex Party, and Buddy Rowe, let me tell you, I am much too old to do the drive down 4.5 hours, watch a 2-hour show, then drive back 4.5 hours. You boys over 30, almost 35. Don't have too many of those left in me anymore. It'll definitely be cool. I make enough money to stay in the hotel across the street from the venue and say fuck it, and then wake up tomorrow morning bright and early, and then drive back then. But the problem is with that, you'd have been in Monday morning traffic, dealing with all the bullshit down in Atlanta.
Yes.
In their 8 freaking lanes of highway. But
yes. Well, I drive down and you drive back. You got a buddy with you. I drive down, you drive back, man. It's real simple.
yeah, it was definitely something where, and the concert, like, it wasn't like we were rocking out with our cocks out or anything, because it was an acoustic concert, right? It's called up close and personal. So there was only 3 guitars and all acoustic and a piano the entire time, and of course a singer. So it wasn't like we were going bananas or anything. Amazing concert. Like, it was very much worth the price of admission, but it was like, holy smokes, man. And it's like, old. How do you feel, Sheriff? Old. You know, that was me to a T. So, because I got back, and then it's definitely a scenario of near the end of the adventure. It's like, don't talk to me. Don't play that music. Don't do that. Just shut up. Just sit over there. All of us are going to sit in silence for the last hour of the journey, because it's like I had to drop him off and then drive another 30 minutes back to the house. Now, granted, I was off that day, but it's like, I ain't going to make it. Those last 30 minutes, like, once I stopped for a minute, it's like, fuck. So
yeah, you'll grow out of that. You'll grow out of it.
Grow out of what? Going and doing that sort of a thing?
Yes. Abusing yourself like that.
Well, we haven't done that in years. I mean, like, literal years. So no, fuck that.
And you can say that's why.
Well, partially the pandemic, and then partially, I mean, when I was like and comment down below and tell us what you think about this next little segment here. People are vastly different entities when they have significant others. So, especially when they have significant others.
Okay.
Especially when it's new. So it's not new and has not been for some time, but when it is new, it's just like, who are you? I don't know who you are. Who are you? Right? And that's another reason why it has been a minute since that sort of a thing has happened, and or since we've been able to do that. And I'm just like, no, I'm taking every frickin' chance I can get. Now, I won't take many more of those. That's for damn sure. But I'll have to just plan it a little bit better to compensate for my old ass. But it'll be like any chance I can get, trips or weekend adventures or whatever, because get busy living, or get busy dying. So
right,
do that shit right, while like I still can function to a degree. So, but yeah, that's what Monday was for. But the body is a fickle thing, because then you wake up at 8 when you went to bed at 2:30, and then it's like, well, you have to function now because that's your life. And you can't sleep past 8, right? And then you can't. Most days I can't sleep past 6:30, but the body was not willing that day. But
I usually roll out about 5:15 or 5:30.
Yeah, but you also go to bed at like 9:30. So
9 o'clock.
Yeah, there you go.
I try to get as close to 9 o'clock as I can. So
sure.
And I've never slept that long in my life. So right. Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, I go to sleep and life's good, and it's a lot easier sleeping. I have found, though, I found this to be funny, and I guess it's because my mind is going. If I watch something funny or like a cartoon or something or a comedian before I go to bed, I'm able to go to sleep easier and better and quicker. And I don't have any bad dreams if I'm not banging my head right before I go to bed and listening to something really crazy.
Well, I mean, I don't know how the laughter shit does that, but I could definitely see if you're doing some head banging music or something that would be pretty lively. I could see where that would kind of be messed up. Like yesterday is a great example. I went and saw the movie Smile, and that was pretty freaking creepy. And so I go to sleep yesterday evening and waking up every so often, not because I'm having bad dreams or whatever, but mostly because it's actually warm. Because as you all can see, I'm flipping my hair and stuff, and it's like there's not like so much I don't know what to do with it, but there's definitely enough to make a well-insulated person like myself know that it's back there, especially at night when you're in the bed and it's supposed to be cold outside, so the air doesn't run, but that your house is still insulated to the point where like hot air doesn't leave, so it doesn't like get too cool, and it's absolutely.
What's the temperature there right now? Do you know? 77 degrees here.
Jeez.
With an ocean breeze coming in.
Well, bully to you.
Yeah. So the high today was 79 and the low is going to be 65.
Guyatine is at 64 degrees.
Okay.
And it actually is supposed to get down to 45 degrees, which is excellent. So.
Yeah, you need to crack a window and put a fan there, sucking that air back into the.
Yeah, see that's like honestly what I should do. The problem is I have like I have aluminum foil on my windows, so there's not much light that comes in.
Okay,
so
who do you think you are, Elvis?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much. But to that end, I don't have a fan that's like wide enough. So once light starts to come in and come through, it would just wake my ass up. So, because it's just crazy.
We always knew when Elvis was in the hospital for any kind of exhaustion or recuperation or anything like that, he would always go to the Baptist Hospital on Poplar Avenue, the 10th floor all the way down to the corner, and they would put aluminum foil on the window.
Nice.
Because he would sleep all day and be up all night.
Yeah,
that's just what he did. And so that's how you always knew if you were driving down the street in Memphis, you could look up, and if there was foil, then Elvis was in that hospital.
Wow.
For it could be exhaustion or could be rub-a-dub tub. Who knew?
Oh, have you watched Elvis yet? The new movie with Tom Hanks and stuff?
I have not.
Well, hook up your fucking computer, because I know you have a HBO Max membership, or at least profile, because I have one for you on there, and watch Elvis, because that looks pretty cool.
Okay.
So
when it says PPV, I just go right by the channels and keep on going, because Top Gun Maverick's on there and Elvis is on there, and there's a bunch, there's
not pay-per-view. I'm talking about the subscriptions that we all pay for that, you don't utilize for some reason.
Ren and Skippy's on there and all this other stuff. So
Ren and Skippy, yeah. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Speaking of Ren and Skippy, did you see where Aaron Judd of the New York Yankees had hit his 62nd home run and broke Roger Maris's single season record?
Yeah, you were talking about that earlier. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he didn't. The all-time record is 73.
Yeah.
In a season.
I was going to say by somebody who clearly was taking steroids. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but it's funny because this kid is 6'7" and weighs 282 pounds.
Okay.
And I don't know how, he's probably 25 or 26 years old, maybe, I guess, but he's a beast. And he struck out. This is how, I don't know what the word is. I'm trying to be nice about it, but this is how petty people are in New York. He struck out in New York. Let's just say they had a 3-game series with somebody, and he batted. And when they didn't intentionally walk him, he struck out like twice, and they booed him. They booed him.
Yeah.
Because he didn't hit a home run.
Perfect.
I don't have to hit a home run every time I bat, Jack.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, come on, man.
I mean, I'm paying my very silly ass ticket price and all
they're playing a series, a 3-game series in Texas, the Texas Rangers in Arlington, and he gets up to bat and jacks one down to Dallas.
Yeah.
And everybody goes crazy. They said the ball is worth between $2 and $6 million.
Beautiful.
The guy that caught it, one guy tried to catch it and he fell out of the stands about 20 feet, thud in the ground.
Yeah,
and
smart.
They hustled his ass out of the stadium right quick.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the guy standing next to him, and he had a Texas Rangers jersey on, and there were guys on both sides of him with New York jerseys.
Nice.
Now these guys are in left field. Yeah, they're in left field, and the ball comes over, and I mean it barely made it over the rail of the bottom tier, and because it had a lot of hang time up high, because they play in a dome in, I think Arlington's in a dome, I'm pretty sure, and so he hit the home run in Texas instead of in New York. But those people are so petty. You're going to boo a Yankees player? Come on, man.
Sure.
I mean, really? You're going to boo a Yankees player? Golly, man. I mean, just because he didn't do what you wanted him to do, and you're standing there filming and he strikes out and get out of here with that crap, man.
It's almost like when we get upset at folks who don't do what we want to do, even though they have different opinions, views, and beliefs than us.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Radio silence. Yeah.
Well, remember, video killed the radio stars. So.
Play the crickets in there. Put crickets.
Insert the damn crickets.
Put the crickets in.
Get them.
Put the crickets in there so there's no silence in there, man.
That's funny. Yeah, radio silence, man. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. But
hey, and I need to throw an apology out on the last. Apology out on the last episode for the video locking up for about the first 32 minutes of the podcast.
Yeah, when I know most people just listen, they're not watching. That was something where
did I give it away?
No, what had occurred is there's like 30 different things that the OBS software, which is the open broadcast software, can try to find and record. And there's about 10 different Discords. So when we were trying to figure out when our very special guest was having some technical issues, I was seeing if there was something on our end that was messed up, which then, of course, very quickly led to, oh, well, we picked the wrong one. And then so finally when I went back to it, it was like, oh, yeah, there you go. Like, this makes sense. So,
yeah,
it's all good.
Get out and vote. Get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah, just start yelling at people.
Yeah,
like,
get out.
Yeah, exactly.
Get out and vote.
So.
Yeah. Hey, I could keep that sign and hold it up for another 4 weeks, kind of. Isn't it like 33 days or 34 days to the election?
Yeah, hey, do what you got to do. Do whatever makes you feel comfortable and make it so that we're making a difference. Mm-hmm.
I just don't see how people can consciously drive down the road knowing everything that's going on around them. I mean, no baby formula, change supply crisis, the lie about COVID, the kids not being in school. I mean, all the businesses shutting down. All the bullshit that they fed you the last 2 years is swirling all around, and you're going to cast a ballot in what direction? Yeah, I don't, man. And I can't wait to see how they try to cheat on this one. I watched the 2,000 Mules video, and that's very telling. That's very, very telling on the theft of votes and the election in a bipartisan way. It's not specific in any, against any one person. It's bipartisan. The whole election was tainted. I mean, every race was tainted. Every ballot was tainted. So it'll be interesting.
That's very fair. Well, and one thing I wanted to look at, because that was a pretty interesting topic you brought up, and we dabbled in this a little earlier, where we talked about like hurricane funds and FEMA funds, and we're sending stuff to Ukraine, but we're not sending it to South Carolina and to Florida with Hurricane Ian, right? Is that who it is?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Or it's not a person, but. We were talking before the show started, like I said, kind of interesting thing here, and we'll probably end on this because this is going to take a minute. in our last 10-minute segment. We were talking about what do we owe relief to the folks who didn't get out. Okay. Excuse me. If memory serves me correctly, we've had this discussion or a similar one before. Because honestly, we talk about a lot of bullshit on here. And we talk about a lot of stuff. And this is episode 70. That is 70 hours of content that we've gone back and forth. Yeah. I told my some of my peers at work, I said, yeah, I got a podcast. It's wild. We've done 70 episodes in about a year and a half. And they were impressed, and I said, "Don't be, because you would like the content." And we had a good chuckle about that and whatnot.
They're listening to for sure now.
Let me tell you, one thing I do need to go back and do is strip all the audio and then put it onto Spotify and iTunes so people can catch back up and then say, "Man, why'd I listen to 70 episodes of this bullshit?" And I'd say, "I don't know, but I got you." So, but. We were talking about that, and something that is interesting to me, of course it might not be to very many people out there, is where are the people supposed to go? Because one of the things that you mentioned was, why are we helping folks, or why are they wanting to help folks who don't have anything first rather than just help everybody at the same time? And something that you brought up after that was to the folks who didn't get out and instead tried to plywood up, and then, which was kind of hilarious, not going to lie. But why have animosity towards the folks who in reality have the worst shot at making it if they went somewhere? Because where are the folks supposed to go? And we talked about something similar to this earlier, like many months ago, where some people would leave and they can't come back because their house might be gone, or they have to, they physically just can't get back. They have no money. They have no car. They took a bus out or whatever, and they have one, no place to go back to, and then two, they don't have any funds. They don't have the resources to leave. So the person who has worked for all their stuff, yay them, that's great. But why in the world are we admonishing folks who don't have other choices, or the choice that they do have isn't really a choice? It's more of a we turn really Ebenezer Scrooge here with and decrease the surplus population, and that's what we have poorhouses and stuff for. And it's like, hold up. If what the person is going to do is try to maintain their livelihood in the best way that they can, which isn't a good way. No one's saying it's good or that it is smart or anything like that, or the best possible outcome. But it's also somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of choices in general, right? And so when they try to allocate resources to folks who may be on the lower income spectrum, or might have no income, right? They might be on welfare programs or Social Security or something like that, who don't have real incomes or things that what we would perceive as real, i.e. they work their ass off and blah, 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 and all this. Because we know certain jobs don't pay shit. Give me a break, right? So why have the animosity towards the folks who have not? You specifically do something every year that is to help the people who are the have-nots, right? But one of the things that they've done is they've served our country. And yes, awesome, thank you for your service and all of that. You're doing this to these people, or having these opinions of these people. You don't know if they're veterans or not. You might be admonishing or having animosity towards the same folks who, if you knew more about them or were your friends, you would feel awful. And you would give as much as you possibly could, not even thinking about it. So where is this coming from?
We gave you 2 weeks notice that the storm was coming. and we told you to evacuate. And my question is, what is the responsibility of the people that are bringing the relief in? What's the responsibility of those people to the people that didn't evacuate? We told you. Now you're not listening to people that have been in this business and know the storms. They know how bad they are. They said this is a 500-year storm. You'll never see one again in another 500 years because it's that bad. But we told you it was coming 2 weeks ahead of time. These things, it's not like a tornado where it drops down and just screws up and then leaves. These things form off the coast for weeks before they track the movement. Every day they're tracking the movement and projecting where it's going to go. So you know it's coming. So if they tell you to get out, then get out.
Where are they supposed to go?
I don't know.
Out.
I don't know. Yeah, get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
But
Get to the chopper.
That's the whole point is if they go somewhere, there is a very good chance they're never able to come back. So some people would rather take the chances.
Well, you know what? You live on the beach.
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 That's, and I hate to say it that way because I live on the beach.
You do live on the beach.
Well, if they said there's a tsunami coming, I wouldn't stick around. I don't know which direction to go, but I would get the hell out of here if there was a tsunami coming instead of getting on this thing is all concrete. This thing is it's like a prison. This whole house is all solid concrete with rebar structured reinforcements. I wouldn't get on the second floor and go, well, I hope the water doesn't come up this far because we've got a refrigerator up there and, we wouldn't have electricity, but we've got candles and stuff upstairs.
Well, it sounds like you're ready to go.
I'm just saying that what do we owe these people? What do we owe when we told them to get out and they didn't? What do we owe them? Okay. The vice president said, well, it's communities of color and it's low income and poor communities that stand to lose the most. And they need to be given the relief as soon as possible based on equity and equality. That's hugely, hugely racist. That's hugely racist. They're calling her out on it because you're trying to tell FEMA who to give the relief to.
Sure.
And it's Wednesday, and Jack and Jill went up the hill, and they're going to Florida today to view the damage.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the news feeds tomorrow and how that went when Joe Biden met Ron DeSantis. I can't wait to see how that went. Yeah, because it would only take one reporter to holler out, what do you think about, him shipping immigrants over to the VP's house or shipping immigrants? It'd only take one person to holler out, and then everything would just go haywire.
Yeah, it would go topsy-turvy for sure.
Yeah, and don't think that they won't holler it out on purpose.
Oh, so, no, of course. I mean,
yeah. Well, Joe probably won't know where he's
so.
Joe won't know where he is anyway. So,
well, he'll be pooping in his pants, and we'll all be like, "Well, that's par for the course." But
yeah.
Here's the thing: we talk about what do we owe these people. Well, do you think that doctors think that when they have a patient who overdosed?
What do you mean?
Okay, so you are saying they were told, "Do not do this," right? Or get out. Like you're giving instruction. Right. You willfully go the other direction.
Right.
Do you think a doctor has the same sort of thought process when they have to take care of a patient and save their life when they overdose on a drug that they knew it was bad? Do you have the same thought process?
No, because they took a Hippocratic oath to help people. They're there specifically.
FEMA is there to help people.
They're there specifically to help individuals with medical issues. This is a completely different thing, man. You're sitting on top of your house and you're crying, "Save me," when you didn't leave when they told you to leave 2 weeks before the storm came?
So, what do we think FEMA is? It's a federal emergency management agency. It's specifically what it's for. So, the same vein, right? Or let's say somebody just haphazardly let their house is on fire, right? And then you would think to yourself, does the fireman who's paid and supposed to go in and save these people? Well, it's like, well, you lived in a house that's flammable. Like, this sort of a thing, like, there are so many instances of, like, for whatever reason, this right here is the hill you'll die on, or the roof that they'll die on. But there are many other instances where you don't have the same outlook, but it's the same principle.
Okay.
Why is that, right?
I filled up the last 10 minutes, didn't I?
We did. Well, it was great.
You know, what's interesting is, if you look, and I don't know that, I want to say Sembello or something. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, and I don't mean to butcher it. Island, where there was a causeway in and out to this island.
Yeah.
They built the causeway on a sand barge.
Mm-hmm.
And then they wonder why, when the tides got high, it blew away their highway. You built it on a sand barge.
I think there's a parable in the Bible somewhere that says, "Don't build your foundation on sand. Build it on the rock that I am," or some shit like that. So,
well, we need to learn from that. I need to learn. I need to learn from that. I need to learn from that. Yeah.
So, don't build on sand, folks. Build on rocks and whatnot.
We got a bunch of sand here, man. Sand in your pants.
I was just saying, you got some sand in the crack of your ass when you get uppity about people in FEMA.
All the time, man. All the time. Yeah, and the dogs will lay in the sand and then come inside, won't even shake it off. And then they jump up on the bed, and it's like sleeping on a piece of sandpaper. Could you shake that off before you got on the bed there, baby?
No, fuck you. There you go.
Basically, yeah. They turn around and moon you. You know, it's like,
you're right. Yeah, they're like, come wipe the sand off my ass, asshole. So
yeah, that's it.
100%.
That's exactly it.
Yes, sir. That's it. Well, anything else? We are at our hour mark. We filled out that last thing. Yep. Term limits, November 8th. Fire them all, as ye in the lime shirt would say.
Yeah. That way, I don't get run over on the highway in my shirt when I ride into town.
There you go.
And I got some shoes to match it, so I won't get lost in the dark either.
Well, we're not mad at you. So
I don't stay out after dark. So, yeah.
I wouldn't down there either. So. Indeed. Awesome, yes. Sir. Well,
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
It's been
fun talking to you.
It's very nice talking with you, as Forrest Gump would say. Jenny, and all that. Right. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for watching the Life in General podcast here with Tom and Jay. Make sure you click like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us how we did down below. Let us know down below what you would like to see/hear about in the next episode. And we will catch you all later.
See you.